Big news here, I found a way how to connect Blender to any AI model. And I'm gonna show it to you right now. Hey guys, this is Steph, and today I show you how I connected pretty much any AI model available to Blender MCP. So we're gonna need N8N and Blender MCP. Let's get started. So in my previous video, I already showed you how to connect it to Claude, and Claude has it in a very simple way. It has MCP available to connect in Claude desktop application, while Gemini and ChatGPT do not have it, but there is workaround. So it's the same thing as we need for Blender MCP, and the process I already showed in my previous video. You can take a look. It's very simple, and when you have it all set, then when you go to Blender, you might still have the Blender MCP here available. So that's what we need. If you don't remember, check out my previous video and you have it set, but the connection to AI will be a little bit different. Okay, so the first step, we're gonna need N8N accounts, and we're gonna go and create a very simple flow. I'm gonna use cloud version of N8N, but it also might work with your local version. And actually with local version, it will be even easier. But for most of you, I guess this will be the common case. And I also use cloud version. So let's get it started. So let's press create a workflow. And as a first step, let's add AI agent. So we go press back to canvas, and here it is. So we can press on wheel and rotate around. So we already have a chat window, and we need to connect AI itself. Let's connect ChatGPT first. It's very easy. Just find open AI chat model, press it here, go back to canvas, and it's already connected. So if we open it, you will need to add credential. I already have it created. You can create new creations, but again, it's just about adding API key, and that's it. Let's choose the model. I really want to test it with O3 because I think this will give us really interesting results. Okay, let's select it, go back to canvas. Now the one thing we need to add, go to memory, and here when we press plus button, we need to press simple memory. That's it. We can go back to canvas, and the last thing here is to press this plus button and find MCP tool. Now here we need to connect our Blender somehow. So what do we have now, right? We have our Blender MCP installed, and we need to press connect to MCP server, right? So now it's running, but the problem is it's running locally on our computer, and we want to connect it here. And the other problem is that N8N only work with SSE protocol, so we need to route it somehow. Luckily for us, it's already solved, and it's actually very easy. So what we're gonna do is that I prepared a very simple command for you. We will use super gateway to actually proxy our Blender MSP as SSE. So on Windows, we go to open PowerShell. On Mac, you need to open Command Tool, but the process is very similar. We tested it on both Windows and Mac, and let me know in the comments if you need instruction for Mac, and we will prepare it for you. Just open the PowerShell and run this command. Now what's gonna happen is that it will wrap it as SSE protocol. Now we have this link SSE endpoint, so let's copy it and let's test. What's gonna happen is event endpoint add a message blah blah blah. This is exactly what we expect to have, so it's done now. But as you can see, it is still localhost, which means it's running on a local. It is SSE, but it's still on local. And if we go and add it here while using cloud version, it's not gonna work. So if we press test step, trying to step, error in, so we're gonna receive an error. The good news for those who run N8N locally, it will work right away. But for us, we're using cloud version, so let's continue. So the second step we need to take here is actually to install Ngrok and proxy our local endpoint to an endpoint that's accessible globally. Ngrok is an amazing tool. What we're gonna need to do is just go register here. It is free to test, and there's very simple instruction for Mac OS, for Windows, for Linux and rest. So I have Windows, and what we're gonna need to do is just go to PowerShell. One thing here, open PowerShell as an administrator because it will not be installed otherwise. And also to use Choco in case of Windows, you need first to have Node.js installed, as it has Chocolately there that actually manage all these packages. But you might try and it might be already installed on your computer. So I already did this and it's very, very fast. So basically you paste this command, then you press Y, press enter, and just in a second it is installed. Make sure you run it as administrator and there's no problems you might expect. So the important thing, we cannot close this window where we already proxying our local endpoint and wrapping as SSE. So we can press plus button, and if you're working on Windows, you can do the same with the command tool on Mac. And while this is running, let's actually do what it suggests. So basically we need to authorize first. So just copy this, paste, okay, it's saved. Now the last thing is that we need to wrap our port, and here we created this at the port 8888. So what we're gonna do is just copy this command I prepared for you and let's paste it here. Boom. And now it's starting. All right. So what we can see is that it says like we are online, and it already created a proxy that is available by link. So as we can see, basically this address now leads to our localhost 88888. Okay, so let's test it. Don't forget to add SSE in the end because that's the endpoint, right? Okay, so we're gonna receive something like this. We can press visit website, and as we can see, even by this link, we have still received the same message, which is amazing. Now this is the link we need. Okay, we can go back to our workflow. We can go to MCP client here. Let's replace it to the link we have right now. Again, guys, don't forget to have both of them running because they're basically proxying and making available the cloud N8N to access your Blender that we are running here, and this is amazing. We don't need anything else. We can just press test sep, and all right, so as we can see, everything runs successfully now. So if you experience any problem, just make sure that you did all the steps and there is no errors. If you facing any errors, just restart Blender MCP, just restart proxy endpoint, and just restart Ngrok. All right, now we can go back to Canvas and we can actually do our first test. So now what's happening here is that here we can connect any chat model, and it's already connected to our Blender and can do changes in Blender. In my previous video, I showed you how good it is on creating things. Today, I want to show you that it's more useful than just creating some scenes. It actually can be a useful tool to do some scripts, some optimizations, automation. If you're learning Blender, if you're actually trying to do something and facing problems like we're doing routine stuff, let's get it done. Guys, I really appreciate your support in my last videos. And if you want me to continue this video, please consider subscribe and a like on this video, and I will be creating more amazing stuff just for you guys. So here's an example. I wanted to create a grid of 10 cubes and make them randomly rotated between 0 and 30 degrees. There is messages and they respond as in chat, but here we can see what actual calls it do. So you can see it first goes to memory, it then goes to ChatGPT, then MCP, blah blah blah, and it might do a few iterations depending on how complicated task you're actually asking it to do. So in case like you're creating a scene, it might take like 10 and more. Now let's open Blender and here's what we see. So from our default scene, so you actually create it as like a grid of 10 by 10 cubes, and there is a random rotation. How you use it, like, it's up to you. It might be something you want to render later, etc, etc. It's like many options. Okay, so let's run another tests. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press A and X on the keyboard and press delete. So now my scene is clear. So what I'm gonna do is something interesting. I will drag and drop a 3D character I created in my last video, and I'll press import GLTF here, and here's our cat we created in my previous video. So I will press on it to make it selected, and then I will go and ask to actually create LODs for this selected object, and let's see if it actually can make it. All right, so actually after a while, just 10 to 15 seconds, it actually already created the result, and let's review. So here is our original object. So let's press the smooth button. Okay, let's move it aside. And here it is. That is LOD 1, 2, and 3. So let's see if it actually what we wanted. Boom, 2, and 3. Okay, and this is the original object. So, I mean, it's a very good job. So as we can see, the density of a mesh is actually decreasing. The lower LOD we go, so density of mesh is high, lower, and more lower. The good thing is actually it do a nice decimation. Visually, it doesn't really affect. But this guy now is only 40k trees. That's all happened just within one prompt. And you might use it whenever you use Blender, right? So I can select something, ask it do this, do that, and or like create a script. And this is amazing, guys. Okay, so let's do another test, but this time let's use Gemini. Okay, so let's revert back to the original scene. Now we have our default cube and camera. That's fine. Let's select the default cube, and my task will be to create a procedural wood material. So let's see if that's possible and how good it actually works with shades. But this time we will use Gemini model. Let's press right button on the empty space, add node, and let's find Gemini. And there is a Google Gemini chat model. So that's exactly what we need. Here, as usual, we need to add credential, basically API key. I already did that, and we can select Gemini model. So I'm really curious to test it with the last 2.5 Pro. Here it is. And what we're gonna need to, we will delete this connection and connect this one instead by just dragging this line there and connecting. So pretty much that's it. Let's enter our prompt and let's see how it goes. All right, so the process is done, and well, this is very interesting. So it's like a cut edge of a wood piece. It's like most realistic wood, of course, but again, this is a procedural texture that it created here via nodes, and this is not that bad. I mean, as a base, sometimes it is very, very good and very useful. So to be honest, like sometimes I cannot keep all this knowledge in my head, and being able to do this while working and to basically get the idea like how I can actually accomplish this task and then fine-tune and tweak it, this is amazing. And Gemini actually do it very fast compared to 03. From what I tested, like Gemini 2.5 is really rocking it, and I was able to receive the result way faster than 03. Maybe because this one that just don't think too much. But again, guys, you can go here and select any model that you like, that you consider best, like a 4, 4.1, 4.0, anyone. Probably some of them might not be able to work with MCP, but that's fine. Just make sure that those models can work with MCP, right? Another thing is that you can even connect it to some local model like Ollama if you want. Okay, so for the last test, let's go back to OpenAI and let's check it out with 4.1, this one. And let's try the ultimate test. I wanted to create a scene where I can actually test a physics. Right, so this prompt was created not by me. It was created by ChatGPT for ChatGPT, right? So I just asked you like to create me a prompt where I can see some stuff falling right on a plane and basically a physics test. Well, let's get a look on it and see if it works. Let's run. All right, I mean, that was fast. So if I press space, it actually runs the simulation, and well, it does, but the blocks are one on each other. What if I just move it a little bit like that and press space? Well, it works. I mean, this is so cool. Well, guys, 4.1 created this just in 2 seconds, like I don't know, 2-3 seconds, right? Like this is how they create these viral videos, right? With simulations, right? I mean, now you can create it like and play with Blender like easily. Boom. So again, what I did so I went to ChatGPT and I just asked it like, create me a test, something dropping on a plane, and it actually created. So as you can see, it's very simple. Using N8N, you can connect any model to Blender MCP, and there are more MCP coming for multiple software. This is just the beginning. I believe the current MCP might be better soon, or there will be another way to how AI can interact, but right now this is it. Again, like it can be really useful. Yes, you can create creative scene. Check out my last video, but you can use it for learning Blender, like doing some research stuff, experimenting, and so on. and it can be very, very useful. Again, like AI knows about scripting, and basically Blender is a BPY library where you can script anything you need to do, physics, materials, blah blah blah. So guys, definitely something that can be of use in the near future, and when it's gonna be better, I will let you know, and you're always gonna be first who know about it. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you in my next videos. Bye.